What's up, Dimers? It's Katie Welge for Pine Sports, another full episode of college football preview for the first official opening weekend. I don't know if you're excited as I am, but this feels a little bit like Christmas morning embarking on the season. Lock Props is here to join me and break down some of the big games starting tonight and to give some of his best dimes for the big weekend. Like, subscribe, and share the channel right below. It's fantasy football season, and PrizePicks and Pine have teamed up to provide all Pine users with a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 when you use the code PINE. Sign up today and win with PrizePicks times Pine. Shane, it's the weekend I know we both wait for all year, so it's only right to have you here to give us your first bets and a little breakdown for week one. With so many games on the slate, you're going to start us off with a Thursday night lock tonight, so who do you got to kick us off?
All right, the first play we're going to get into is from tonight's game. It's going to be the Penn State-Purdue game. We got a same game parlay that we're going to be playing here. We're going with Penn State plus 4.5. Purdue, they overachieved last year. They do have a good returning quarterback. Their two best players left for the NFL draft. It's Purdue. They don't reload. They don't bring in freshmen who are ready to play. It's going to be a rebuilding season. On the other hand, Penn State, they're bringing back Sean Clifford at quarterback. They brought in a couple of huge names in the transfer portal. Tinsley from Western Kentucky, one of the best receivers in the nation. The offense should be loaded. Last year, before Clifford got injured, he was throwing the ball all over the place. They actually looked decent. So the play I'm going with tonight is going to be Penn State plus 4.5. Sean Clifford, 200 yards throwing. And Parker Washington from Penn State, 55 yards receiving. All right, so the next game I want to get into here is going to be North Carolina State, Eastern Carolina. North Carolina State, Devin Leary. It's pretty much all you need to know. The guy's insane, right? He threw for 3,500 yards last year, 35 touchdowns, only 5 picks. As the season went on, he got much stronger. 4 of his 5 last games, he threw for at least 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. He did lose his top receiver, but they bring back 6 guys from last year who all had at least 200 yards receiving. He's known for spreading the ball around. I think that's a plus. And on the defensive side of the ball, we got all-ACC player Drake Thomas, a linebacker, coming back. The man's a problem. And the craziest thing is their 2 best linebackers didn't even play last season because of injury. They're getting them back with Drake. Might be the best linebacking core in college football. Their only weakness really is going to be the ends on defense. They're strong up the middle of defensive tackle. But East Carolina, that's their problem, is they cannot block anyone up front. The last few seasons, tackles for loss, sacks allowed, they're always up there at the highest. With them linebackers I talked about earlier, blitzing off the edges, they're not going to be able to handle it. North Carolina State comes ready to play. They won 45-0 last year in their first game. East Carolina lost last year by 14 to a smaller school. They lost by 23 to Central Florida the year before. And these teams played each other 2019. North Carolina State beat them 34-6. I'm expecting some type of score right around there. This one shouldn't be close. All right. The last game I want to get into here is going to be the BYU-USF game. BYU, they're a great team. I'm expecting big things from them this season. They had a strong start last season out the gates. They went 3-0 playing all Pac-12 schools, including beating Utah early in the season. They've had 21 wins over the last 2 years. They did play USF last year. They only won by 8, but they were winning 28-6 at half. They were doing a quarterback rotation at the time. That's over with. It's Hall's job to lose now. The man came on strong at the end of the year. He can run the ball. He got a lot more accurate passing. Their offensive line is incredible. They have 3 NFL caliber linemen. They brought in one of the biggest transfers in the portal. They're going to be tough up front. They got both their top receivers back. That's about 1,500 yards of offense, 12 touchdowns. Problem with them, they don't get much of a pass rush, but they have very good veteran DBs. And their linebacking core is solid, at least 2 pro prospects there. I can't imagine USF's going to get going too much against them. They were 2-10 last year. They brought in a transfer quarterback, but their offense accounted for 6 passing touchdowns on the whole season. The guy they're bringing in is not going to be able to jumpstart them that much. They don't have any pass rush at all. They're not going to be able to BYU is going to be able to run the ball, throw the ball. They should be able to do whatever they want against these guys. And they're a slow starting team. They lost their first game 45-0 in week 1 last year. I'm looking at the same thing here. BYU should be running away with this one early.